And then little by little by little, people would come to me and want healings or want me to talk to them and things of that particular nature. So eventually I became a spiritual therapist. I did that for 7 years. I saw 6 to 8 people every single day. With 6 days a week, every single day, working with people in prayer, meditation, helping them heal their bodies. And then I got a message that I was supposed to start a spiritual community. I didn't want to. My weekends were off. I was seeing a lot of people. I was doing standing room only seminars before they were popular, things like that particular nature. And then the inner voice said, if you don't do this, we have no more reason for you to be on the planet. The voice said that. And so I went through another school of ministry of higher consciousness and then opened myself up to the vision process and began to vision for a community called that became Agape to go forward. Up until that time, I was speaking. I didn't have a community, but I was guest speaking, doing seminars, things like that. And the energy when I got up to speak would just flow through me, and that's the way it is up to this day. Agape is 36 years old.
36 years old?
36.
36? That doesn't compete with anywhere. That's like the oldest standing spiritual place to go to.
In New Thought, absolutely.
New Thought, yeah.
There's wisdom. Well, there's some a little bit older. There's some a little bit older. But the founders have gone on.
Yeah. But this is
I'm alive.
And by the way, you haven't aged a day since.
Listen, like you, I'm not interested in age, and age isn't interested in me. I feel the exact same potency and energy today exactly as I did 40 years ago.
Wow.
There's been no drop in my energy.
Wow.
So I knew that I had to speak, I knew that I had to teach.
Yes.
I knew that I had to assist people into waking up
yes.
to their glorious nature, because that's the only way we're going to change the world. You can't have an enlightened, beautiful world without enlightened, inner, beautiful people.
Yes.
It's an impossibility.
How does someone wake up to become more enlightened?
Well, there's 2 doors. There's the doors of crisis and suffering,
Yep.
as you know about, and there's the doors of insight and revelation. So you're going to come through either way. If you have enough pain in your life, you'll say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you'll begin to ask different kind of questions. If you ask an empowering question, what's trying to emerge in my life? How can I get healthy? How can I discover myself? The universe will answer it. But if you're only asking questions like, why me? Who's to blame? What's wrong?
Yes.
Then that same question is going to make you go through a downward spiral. So if you ask the right questions, now you're coming on the path of insight.
Yes.
The universe will give you wisdom, inspired wisdom, guidance, direction, people, in a language and in a way that you can understand. And now you have momentum that's taking you out of the inertia of being in a stagnant place in your life, you see. So if you have intention, the universe responds to that intention and provides ways that presently you can't see because you're stuck in the muck. But if you have intention and the universal presence through its law matches that intention, then you start to see opportunities that you didn't even know were there, but were there all the time. All the time. Life is life. Love is love. Intelligence is intelligence. It doesn't go anywhere. It's always broadcasting. But are we listening? Are we interested? Are we asking the right questions? Are we making ourselves available? If we are, your life can change. Your life can change.
So someone who's sitting there today and they're struggling with something, they're not getting out of debt, they want to better their life, maybe they haven't met the love of their life, maybe they feel stuck in some area, physically, emotional, mentally, spiritually, in some way. Today they're going to listen to this, they're going to set an intention, they're going to write it down, they're going to take action. But after that, how do they go next? What do they ask? Who do they look for? Where do they go?
The universe answers every question that you ask. So the questions have to be empowering. So you can actually ask, what is it within me that's trying to emerge?
Wow.
What's trying to come forward? Everything has a destiny. An avocado seed, there's an avocado tree.
Yeah.
A rose bush seed is trying to emerge into a rose bush to produce roses.
Yes.
We're trying to produce excellence.
Yes.
As a spiritual being having a human incarnation, we're a unique imprint of infinite potential. So if I ask what's trying to emerge, I'm going to start having dreams, visions, intuitive hits, direct knowing of my particular gifted area that's going to pull me out of my present paradigm into taking the necessary steps, actions, to bring forth my destiny. If I stay in complaining, if I stay in blaming, if I stay in shame, if I stay in guilt, I'm going to keep reliving that. But if I ask, what is it within me that's trying to emerge? Now, of course, this is based upon the awareness that every single being has something to give. Every being on the planet matters. Every being on the planet is significant. The presence never does do-overs and never makes mistakes. So we're all unique expressions of infinite potential. So if you live in a state of affirmative inquiry, you'll start to hear differently. It may come in a dream. Some people it comes in dreams. Some people it comes in their meditation. Some people it comes, they may walk into a room and a book may fall off the shelf. Or they may overhear a conversation. I can remember an individual that came to Agape and he was ear hustling a conversation in a restaurant. And he was hearing these people talk about their spiritual growth. And then you heard him say something like, yeah, I went to this place called Agape and I got opened up. He was eavesdropping. So he got on his little, looked it up. He came, now he's a minister here. So, the universe will bring you what you need if you're interested, if you're really interested. Now, here's the deal. So many people are bogged down in fear, worry, doubt, anxiety, and anxiousness because that's the broadcast from our media. The media in every industrial country, the media is giving the worst case scenarios of the human experience over and over again. Music behind it, news at 11. And so people get caught and mesmerized and hypnotized by that limited viewpoint of reality where there's so much good happening. If you ask the right questions, you start to see the good that's happening. You start to be an agent for that good. You actually, Natasha, like you do, you actually start to live in a different world. You see all this stuff happening on the planet, but you're living, it's real levitation. You're living a little bit above it. You have compassion, philanthropy, guidance. You do whatever you can do to alleviate suffering, but you're not in it.
Absolutely.
You're levitating above it. So you come in and you have this bright energy, you're lifting people up to help them come out of that energy.
Yes.
And then what happens? They become what we call a beneficial presence on the planet. Now they wake up people with their energy, their frequency, their vibration, you see. Life is good.
Life is so good.
But we just have a narrow point of view.
And we need to just open it up. This is so good. I know that someone today is feeling so empowered by this. Okay, so now we know we're seeing it through a particular point, right? Narrow vision, life visioning.
Yes.
Explains how when you channel your life and look at it with the right eyes, you will see a different outcome.
Yeah.
So many people, they act from a place of fear, which is just false evidence appearing real. They act from a place of insecurity. Oh, well, if she's doing it, he's doing it, I'm never gonna do it,
Right.
Jealousy, competition, the wrong mindset, the mindset that is only ever gonna leave you with less.
Yes.
And I would say to people, don't stay in that place. Use your scarcity mindset, your jealousy and competitiveness, and transmute that into inspiration.
Yes.
Because inspired action creates motivation, momentum, and drive. And now all of a sudden, you've transmuted that energy into inspiration. You're seeing a different outcome around you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You said something very powerful here. See, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And so we transmute. You use the word transmute. We take that same energy that's stagnant, fear, worry, and it becomes transmuted into a higher frequency. Then it compels us to right action.
Yes.
You see, now you use the word scarcity mindset. This is very true. People, that's where competition comes from, jealousy, envy, because they think if something good is happening to somebody, it means there's less for them.
Yes.
That's a lie.
Such a lie.
It's a lie. We live in an abundant universe. Abundance is everywhere. So the way we're supposed to operate is if we hear something good happening to somebody, I teach people to inwardly celebrate that. Be happy that that person just made a lot of money. Be happy that they're healthy. Be happy that they're in love. Be happy that they're successful. And then it gets on you.
Yes! Preach, King. I love this.
Jealousy affirms equality. Jealousy says, I want what she has. Envy is jealousy on steroids. Envy says, I don't want her to have what she has. You see, so envy is worse than jealousy.
Ooh.
But they're both based upon scarcity mindset.
Yes.
Like, oh, there's not enough good, name it, jobs, houses, what opportunities to go around. That's not true. We live in a field of infinite good, infinite potential, infinite opportunities. So as I start to shift my heart and mindset into that awareness, and I start to celebrate the good that I see, then I start to live in that frequency. And next thing you know, good's happening in my life out of the blue. I don't even plan it sometimes. It's just I'm in the flow of the energy.
Yes.
And next thing I know, I meet Natasha. Next thing I know, I'm involved with Bruce Lipton. Next thing you know, I'm doing something. I remember one time I was sitting in with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I was facilitating this meeting with all of these spiritual leaders and mystics and scientists. And I remember sitting there saying, how did I get here? How did this little guy from Orange Drive in Los Angeles hang out with that Dalai Lama? I did it 3 or 4 times, you know? And then I was aware that wasn't on my vision board. But the energy of my life pulled me to sit with His Holiness, to meet the Nelson Mandela, to hang with Bishop Tutu and a number of people.
Yes.
You know, but it wasn't like something I said, this is what I had an intention to be of service to the source. And then the rest, the source just pulled me into places.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And I love the story that we were talking about. We'll probably add some in of, the beginning where we were saying about how The Secret came about.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing that she was pulled to find you live on stage.
Right.
And then you were already introduced through Bob Proctor and, Jack Canfield. I mean, isn't that incredible?
Well, I didn't know anything about it that much.
Yeah.
Because when I was invited to go, I couldn't go. They filmed The Secret in Aspen. And so for some reason, my schedule didn't allow me to go. I didn't think too much of it. Next thing I know, Rhonda Burns is walking up to me. I just finished speaking at Agape.
Wow.
And she says, oh my God, I never heard anything like this. You need to be in my movie. And I said, what's your movie? And she said, The Secret. I said, really? She said, Bob Proctor. And I said, oh yes, Bob told me about this. I couldn't make it. She says, well, we have the camera crew here. Can we film? We'll put up a green screen. I said, sure.
I mean, what are the chances?
And we filmed, and she was asking me questions, and I was answering. And after a while, she said, you know what? Just talk. That's what she said. She said, just talk, just teach. And that's how I got in The Secret.
So beautiful. Okay, on The Secret, the law of attraction. I mean, this is the name of this podcast, the law of attraction, inspired by you and some others from the show. So what do you believe is the best way? Because we know what the law of attraction is. By now, I'm sure everyone listening knows as well. But what is the best way to activate the law of attraction into your life to make it benefit you and serve you and others?
We have to understand that the law of attraction inwardly means that you are radiating into your life something that you're feeling already. Okay? So one of the best ways to do that is to think of moments in your life where you felt loved, safe, and that all of your needs were met. And if you cannot think of such moments, you imagine what those moments would feel like. Because the body doesn't know the difference. The mind doesn't know the difference between your imagination and a memory. So you hold that space. All of my needs are met. I'm loved and supported. I'm safe. You hold that space. And as you learn to hold that space every single day, then that space is radiating out from you. So a law of attraction emanates from the law of radiation. You're radiating it out. And then that radiance is acted upon by the law and brings into your life opportunities, people, conditions will change. Because as we said earlier, everything is vibration.
Yes.
So the vibration, if something is condensed, something negative in your life, it's really condensed, it's intractable, it will speed up and transmute itself and become an opening, an opportunity. But people are waiting for something good to happen before they feel better. No, you have to feel better first.
Yes.
And
Love
then
this.
something good happens.
Wow.
That's the work you do. So if you're sitting and you're doing your visualization, you're sitting, you're doing your visioning, you're sitting and you're doing your feeling tonality about the good that's already here, gratitude, gratitude. Your vibration starts to change, and then you start to see things come into your life. Now understand this, many of them are already there.
Wow.
But you can't see it.
Yes.
Because you're only focusing on what you're afraid of. You're only focusing on a worst case scenario. Oh, if this bad thing happens, then I'll never be able to be successful, whatever. But now what are you focusing on? You're focusing on I am and I have. I am and I have. Now there's a law in the scripture that says to he or she who has, more is given. To he or she who has not, even that which they have shall be taken away.
I read that in the Gospel of Thomas, I think.
That's a law.
I love
It's
that.
not personal.
I love that.
But if you're walking around feeling that you have something, the universe says, bam, you got something. If you're walking around feeling, I don't have anything, the universe says, bam, you don't have anything. It's like gravity, it's not personal. Like I said in The Secret, you fall off a building, it's not personal.
No, yeah, this is so...
This is just law. So the ideal is we want to use the law for higher purposes for our life until it starts to use us. After a while, you're just in the flow, and it's become such a part of you that minor miracles take place in your life because you're just in the flow. I call it flow motion.
Flow motion.
Flow motion. I do sound effects sometimes.
Yeah, well, I love sound effects. Me too. Everything, like, so when I was playing pickleball the other day, it's like a form of tennis. I didn't even know it existed. I thought it was like some kind of pickle jar that you ate. I thought someone was joking with me, and it's actually a sport. So like, I'm hitting the ball, but now I come up to the net, and then everyone says, when you play, you turn into this cute little Japanese Harajuku, because I start hitting the ball, but when I do it, I say pow, and then I say bang, and I just make the sound of what I want the ball to do.
Right.
And the ball does exactly what I do.
It's vibration. That's your word.
Yes.
Sometimes words are limiting, so we have to use sound effects. So I do that.
Yes, I agree.
I have sound effects when I speak. It just comes out that way.
God, so beautiful.
Boom. I'll clap.
Yes.
This is happening.
Yes. Now, I agree. Yeah, sound effects are so, I love watching you speak because, you're so animated and passionate, and I mean, you're one of the biggest motivational speakers on planet Earth. You're one of the most uplifting speakers. If you guys haven't seen, you need to come to Agape Sunday in Beverly Hills at the Agape Center. It is powerful. It is mind-blowing. It is change. It literally, from watching, you can watch online as well if you're not, not in LA.
AgapeLive.com. You just go watch it.